Hi everyone, my name is Aaliyah, and I decided to put this video together to pretty much explain what happened to me, what led up to my diagnosis of leukemia. Um, and those of you who are on the AML group and the FLIT 3 Caregivers and Warriors, this video is for you as well. So if you have not been following up with me, um, here's my story. So, I was diagnosed with leukemia in October of 2015. And what happened was I noticed that I was not fighting off colds. Like, I would catch a cold and it would take a long time for me to get better. Even a toothache, that lasted for like 8 or 9 days. So I would see a neurologist, and also I had headaches and I was like extremely tired. And then also I had this weird feeling in my lower back. I mean, it was like the worst feeling. It felt like something was tugging at my bones. Um, it was very unusual type of feeling. So I knew something was wrong with me, but I just couldn't figure out what it was. So I started to see my primary care doctor. She decided to draw my blood, and she noticed that my blood levels were all off. So she pretty much drew my blood like 3 times. She couldn't understand what was going on. She pulled out her medical book and still didn't have an answer for me. She thought that I had lupus because she said I had a positive ANA, which meant that I had some type of autoimmune disease. So she just pretty much diagnosed me with lupus. She asked me if my sister had lupus, and I told her yes, she does. And so she pretty much almost agreed that I had it, but she didn't want to give me a definite answer. So she referred me to a rheumatologist. He drew my blood and he diagnosed me with mixed connective tissue disease. One morning I woke up, I had a crook in my neck. It was so bad that it started with the crook, and then towards like so I woke up like 7:30, and then like around 2:30 in the evening it started, I mean in the afternoon, it started to spread. So I went to see my rheumatologist, and I asked him if the reason I was diagnosed with mixed connective tissue disease, if that's why I was having so much pain. He told me to go to the emergency room, but don't tell them that he diagnosed me with the mixed connective tissue disease, because he wanted them to do their own research instead of send me home with pain medication. So I was in so much pain. I ended up in the ER. My husband took me to the ER, and they drew my blood. My blood count was 60,000. My white blood count was 60,000, and that let them know that I had some type of infection. They told me that they gave me morphine for pain. It did not work as far as pain concerned. The morphine just hit my body, and that's it. It went out. So that did not work for pain. I was like in a loop still. But anyway, um, so they told me they want to do a lumbar puncture to rule out if my meningitis was making its way back to me. So I declined to have a biopsy and a lumbar puncture because I was in too much pain and I just didn't want anybody to touch me. So the next day I had the procedure done, the lumbar puncture as well as the bone marrow biopsy, and I was so sick. I remember waking up in the ICU. The nurses were washing me down, and my doctor, he said, I want to explain to you that you have AML, leukemia, and you're going to be hospitalized for a month, and we got to start chemotherapy on you right away. So everybody was sad because we're like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what, how did I get leukemia? And I started to ask my doctor a series of questions like, is it something I could have eaten, or, what did I do? And he explained to me that no, there's nothing I've done. It just came, it just happened. And so those of you who think that, so I want to explain to those of you who think that it could have been something you ate or wrong, because you can be the healthiest person. It does not matter what you've eaten, how healthy you are as a person. If leukemia hits you, it's just because it's damage to the DNA. At least that's what I was told. It's not hereditary. It does not run in your family or anything like that, because nobody in my family has AML. Nobody in my family had leukemia. So um pretty much to fast forward this, so I completed 3 rounds of chemo. I went into remission the second week of induction. I was given ibuprofen as well as cytarabine. And the ibuprofen, I remember I told my husband, I said, buy me a comb. And then on Halloween, I just combed all of my hair out. It fell all out. And shortly after, I could not swallow. I was very sick. So with that medicine, it was like just really strong. And, you know, I completed 3 rounds of chemo, and it just kind of reminds me of the movie Jumanji. It's like you roll a dice, you never know what you're going to get with each round. It was always something. One time, when I finished a round, and then a week later, I was sent home when my numbers were up. I could not see, and they gave me these eye drops, so I couldn't see for like half the day. It started at 2:30 in the morning. It felt like, if you turn the lights on, it would bother my eyes, and then it was just felt like rocks were in my eyes. It was so painful, and my eye was swollen. So, and not to mention with the ibuprofen, the medicine that they gave me at induction, my face broke out. This was like all dark, and then my eye was swollen, like somebody had beat me up. Seriously, the chemo just really did some damage control to my body, but I'm still here, So just to give you a little bit more information, April the 22nd, I had a consultation because my oncologist explained to me that I have a FLT3 gene, and he didn't know too much about the gene. That's why he wanted to send me out to speak with the bone marrow transplant um, doctors. I was told that I was low risk, so that I didn't need a transplant. But after the doctors reviewed my file, they took it before a board, and the board decided that I was a candidate for a transplant. So when I was given this information, I cried all day. I was just like so sad because I'm like, I was told I was low risk, and I'm gonna have to go through this all over again, and I know it's a risk. And you know, being on a group, the AML group, I love the group because, and I love you guys because it's like, those of you who have been through the, transplant, you know it all too well. So you're there to give us, good feedback and to inspire us to, say, hey, do it. You can do it. You can beat this. So, I stayed in remission for 7 months, and I fought, through those months. And it was just kind of discouraging when I relapsed this week. Monday, which was, I believe, um, the 15th, I believe, this week, Monday, I went into I had an appointment with my doctor, and he drew my blood. My CBC, which stands for complete blood count, was normal. But I was having this bone pain. I was like in tears. I could not, I was like in so much pain. And I knew that it was the same pain that I had when I was diagnosed. But my doctor told me no, it could be the lupus or the mixed connective tissue disease that you was diagnosed with. But I'm telling him like, no, something is really wrong. So he did a flow test, and sure enough, I was right. I got a phone call Wednesday. He explained to me that the leukemia is bad pretty much, and there is some blasts in my blood. So, with that being said, he told me to check myself into the hospital, and that I was going to have to do induction all over again because I just found out that my sister was a match for me, and I was about to go for a transplant. So, now that I relapsed, I can't do my transplant until I get back in remission. And I'm here to tell you guys that it's a fight. We have to fight this through. Don't get discouraged. Don't give up because plenty of times I've been sad. I've cried so much. My father worries so much about me now. He had a stroke and he's in the hospital at this time right now. He worried himself. And I can't worry. I'm sad that my father's, not, he's in the hospital, but we're going to keep him in prayer and everything. And I'm grateful that my mother came out from Michigan. She helped us out, helped my husband and everything. So I'm, very grateful for her. And my husband, I'm very grateful to have him. He's been by my side all this time. I love him so much. And my children, I got a 1-year-old daughter, 7-year-old son, a 5-year-old, and a 16-year-old, three boys and a girl. So I really have to fight this, because I want to live and I want to be around to see my children. You know, this isn't easy. This is the chemo, pretty much, as you can see. That's cytarabine. Um, and then I'll be given my it's called matricide, and it's like a blue chemo, and it's weird because I imagine the chemo being blue, and it's actually blue for real. So I'm like, wow, that's something. But I'm here to continue to fight this. And like I said before, stay away from negative people. Those of you who are battling this leukemia, stay away from negative people, and just stay away around positive people, people that will influence you. And uh, don't ever let anybody tell you it's something you done, that caused leukemia, because it's wrong. There's nothing you eat, and there's nothing you can eat. There's no herb you can take, and I'm a strong believer in that. There's no herb you can take that will cure leukemia. Only God. I believe. I'm a strong believer that God can take it away. Because if that was the case, there would be thousands of people that would have gotten cured from leukemia. Um, I'm a strong believer that if you have the transplant, that is pretty much the cure to treat leukemia. And why some people relapse, I don't know. Only God has that answer. But all we can do is try. That's all we can do is try to fight this, be strong. In a few days, I know I'm going to be sick. So I decided to just make this video real quick and to talk with you guys. But until then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.